All right, everybody, welcome back to the Next Big Rush. I am here with Bryan Slusarchuk, and I can say this name now without even reading it. Took me a little bit of time of getting to know Bryan to be able to do that. But Bryan is a household name when it comes to high grade gold. That's it. That's all I'm going to tell you for now. He is actually heading the efforts at Great Pacific Gold Corp. And I am a partner of this company, and I absolutely love the story. I'm going to let Bryan tell you why it's so interesting, what kind of projects they have going on right now, and how they're dealing with two very special high grade jurisdictions, uh, with a team that has exactly the experience that you would want to see for this level of exploration. So, Bryan, welcome.
Abby, thanks for having me on.
No problem. So, Bryan, my first question to you is you guys as a team have a lot of experience, from soup to nuts in Papua New Guinea. And, most people think this is too exotic of a place, but if you know anything about mining, you realize that the mineral endowment of that place is just out of this world. And you guys have been able to take a project that would have otherwise, I believe, failed, and you made it into an actual producing mine. On the other hand, you've built this company and you have projects, with within that country. But the thing is, the producer is producing. So K92, which is the company that you guys built at first, it's its own thing. And now you guys are back to the exploration game. So you have projects where you know best in PNG, but you also have a really interesting development as of late in Australia. So what is special about these two, different sets of jurisdictions, and what are you guys looking forward to the most in 2024?
Sure. Thanks, Abby. So, Papua New Guinea is a place that's really close to my heart. I first started to work in Papua New Guinea 10 years ago now. I was, as you alluded to, co-founder and former president, director of K92 Mining. And the K92 has been a real success on the back of exploration success, execution success, and just an amazing geological profile. We have some great leadership at K92 via the CEO, John Lewins, who has just done a spectacular job. But I feel really privileged to have been involved in K92 from inception all the way up through to commercial production, cash flow positive operations. And with that background, I've always been looking for another opportunity in PNG. And that opportunity came along. It took some time to put together, but based on a lot of hard work, knowledge on the ground, relationships in country, we ended up with three what we think are just spectacular projects within Papua New Guinea. The first project is close to within that K92 region. It's a short helicopter ride, maybe 4 or 5 minutes from the K92 base camp. And that project is the earliest stage of our three projects in Papua New Guinea, but it's exciting because of the geological analogy to the K92 situation, the fact that we are contiguous with K92, and we're going to be able to go in and chase these high grade epithermal veins, also potential porphyry targets. And that project at Kessar Creek is a project where we've just wrapped up a first phase of geochemical work. We're awaiting results. And I think over the next couple of weeks, we'll have some results from that first program that will point out just how prospective Kessar is. To the southeast of K92, we have a project called Arrow. again, a lot of past work at Arrow, but all of the past drilling was very shallow. The average hole depth was 27 meters. There was very little drilling below 70 meters. So, despite some excellent results historically near surface, this has never been tested at depth. And our technical team really likes Arrow for the exploration upside, not only near surface, which where there's a proven system, but also again at depth. The third project is the most advanced stage project, and this is the Wild Dog or Cinnamon project. This is a very exciting project on an island in Papua New Guinea called New Britain. There were some spectacular high-grade results from drilling near surface on this project. There is evidence in situ in place in a formerly producing open pit of porphyry style mineralization. So we think we have the best of both worlds at this Wild Dog project. We have this very high grade mineralizing system near surface, high grade gold. And at the same time, we have the big size, scope, scale potential that the porphyry exploration upside on that same project presents. So we're very active in Papua New Guinea. Kesar Creek, like I mentioned, we anticipate results from our geochem program in short order. At Arrow, we've been doing road work, drill pad construction in anticipation of drilling that should start over the next few weeks. And at Wild Dog Cinnamon, we have one of two licenses in place. We're waiting on the second. And once that's approved, I think you'll see a lot of news on that project. At the same time, we have a project next door in Australia, and that project is in Victoria. And Victoria is a place we've worked for some time. Our COO, Rex Motton, actually grew up in the Victoria area. He lives a short distance from the Fosterville mine itself. And Rick spent his teenage years prospecting around the district. He spent a lot of time working in Victoria. And late in the year, as we were wrapping up a drill program in Victoria, we had an extremely high-grade gold discovery. In fact, that gold discovery at a place called Comet graded 5 meters of 166 grams per ton gold. And that was within an 8-meter cut of approximately 106 grams per ton. So this was exceptionally high grade. The discovery was made on a single hole that we drilled at Comet in 2023. We've now followed that up. We've got one more hole done, and we had a great high grade cut of mineralization there, around 25 grams per ton, over 4 meters, including some 70, some 55 gram per ton material. So we see that this system at Comet produced exceptionally high bonanza gold grades. At the same time, we announced our last drill results from Comet. We also noted that we have a hole in the lab currently that we think is indicative of some size and scale potential. In this hole, which is our diamond hole drill number 2, we encountered stacked zones of mineralization. And this is very important because it lines up with the Fosterville analogy geologically, but it also shows that size, scope, scale potential that I've mentioned. So what we have at Comet is a high-grade, bonanza-grade gold discovery, same age of rock as Fosterville, same geology as Fosterville, same mineralogy as Fosterville. Very importantly, the same type of structural setting. The discovery was made where these western dipping faults intersect the anticline. So everything is lining up where we have potential for something very special here. It's early days. It's a high-grade gold discovery. We're waiting on some assays now that should be out imminently. But as you can see, we've got a lot going on in both Papua New Guinea and next door in Australia. And via our track record in Papua New Guinea over the last decade, And via the track record of various team members in Victoria over the last 3 decades, I think we're really well positioned to execute. And we've got a very solid treasury with approximately $10 million in cash. So we're well funded to execute on the program.
That's really cool. I have been following your share price movements. Obviously, I'm very biased, and so I must do so. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge to people who started watching, our interviews way back in the day when we started to do them, probably a year ago. Yeah, probably a year ago, they would have been seriously up from those levels. And something happened here quite recently that I'd like you to maybe shed some light on, because obviously you're getting confirmation from the drill bit that what you have in Australia is extremely exciting. You are essentially looking for the next Fosterville gold mine, which, for those people aren't familiar with the story, it's one of the, if not the highest grade gold mine in the world. Just a massive, beautiful piece of, geological gifts from the mineral gods. And you are putting out news that to me seem very positive. And the last one, I think, had a really negative correlation. I'm not going to say causation, but correlation with price movement, where the stock sold off quite uh, quite deeply compared to its usual movements when you guys came out and actually told the market that you had found the follow-up of 4 meters at 25 grams per ton gold. And I'd like to know what's happening here. Is the market doubting that this is the next Fosterville, or is there something else to it?
Sure. It's a great question, Fabi, and a great observation. Great Pacific Gold, in the doldrums of last year's gold market, which was a very poor market generally, had a great year. We were one of the top performing stocks in the space over that year. And speculators, investors in the name definitely were up over those last 12 months. The stock traded up yet again early in the new year 2024 based on this incredible news around the discovery of the comet. And that comet, that drill hole, our discovery hole that we put out, was one of the higher grade discovery holes in the world last year. So it obviously created a lot of excitement. The first follow-up hole, and there will be a lot of holes to come on this project. First follow-up hole was excellent grade, but that news release also coincided with a share release from escrow of approximately 5.5 million shares. And that share release was related to our acquisitions in Papua New Guinea. So I think that provided a little bit of liquidity. At the same time, the grade was excellent. It was over a nice wide cut of mineralization, lengthy cut of mineralization, I should say. But of course, it wasn't the bonanza grade that we had in the discovery hole. So I think the combination, you've seen the stock pull back a little bit. And in my personal opinion, I think it's presenting a serious opportunity here. The grade in our last hole was higher than the resource grade at Fosterville itself right now. And what you'll see if things go according to plan is you'll see more bonanza grade hits here at Comet. But you'll really build the resource with a lot of 10, 15, 20, 40 gram type hits. That's the goal. So we believe we will see more bonanza hits along the way, but we'll hopefully also see a lot of these 25, 30 gram hits, which are just exceptionally high grade hits as we look to target a resource here. So I think that share release provided some liquidity, and at the same time, there's just a lot of news coming up. We're very catalyst rich here over the next few weeks, both in Papua New Guinea and in Victoria. And I think this little pullback after a very nice run up is providing a potential entry point to people that may have thought the name got away from them a little bit. We're just at the start of things at Comet. It's very early days, and we're really, after a long period of time negotiating and closing these deals in Papua New Guinea, we're right at the start of things there. So this is very early entry spot for speculators, for investors that are bullish on gold. And in these high grade situations, and I've been fortunate to be involved in a high grade discovery in Papua New Guinea before, as you mentioned. And these high grade situations can do well in all types of gold markets. We don't need a booming gold market for these types of situations to do well. It certainly helps, but I just think we're really fortunate in both PNG and in Australia to be going after these just seriously high grade environments.
I think you're absolutely right. I'm personally definitely looking into, grabbing some more shares here at this level. And it's not as bubbly as some of the other gold names because it's had that breather and that liquidity event, as you just mentioned. So, Bryan, going forward, you guys still have money in the till, and obviously you have a lot with both Comet and your projects in PNG. What can investors expect, just in the next 3 to 6 months moving forward with news? How much news can we expect, from Comet versus PNG?
There'll be a lot of news flow from both over the next several weeks. You're going to see geochem results at Kessar, drilling at our Arrow project, and hopefully some big news at our Wild Dog Cinnamon project, and that's in PNG. At the same time, you'll see assay news flow from drilling at Comet. In fact, there are a couple of more holes in the lab right now that we've rushed, and we hope to have assays from in short order. So it'll be a very news-rich story over the next several weeks. And at the same time, unlike a lot of smaller cap companies in the gold space out there, we're well financed. So being well financed concurrent with big catalyst rich developments in two great jurisdictions we're very familiar with, I think it's setting up really, really well. And of course, with all of the porphyry upside we have in Papua New Guinea, investors are also getting potential exposure to copper, which, other than gold, and I'm a long-term believer in gold, other than gold, it's the metal that I'm definitely most excited about.
So basically, you have high grade gold, great grade copper, two amazing jurisdictions, and you're hunting for elephants with a team that's highly experienced. I don't know how much better this gets. I really don't. So I'm really excited about this, and definitely will be following up as news comes out because I know this is going to be a very, very busy year for you guys. Bryan, thank you so much. Where can people find out more about Great Pacific?
On our website, with the Great Pacific Gold Corp website is a good place. Of course, CDAR is a good place. Our news releases are all up on our website. And we look at it, Fabi, that exploration always comes with lots of risk. If you're going to take the risk of being in the commodity space, of being in gold and being in exploration, you want to make sure that the prize is big enough that to justify that. And what we've got here at Great Pacific is serious grade that we've already shown. We've got big size, scope, and scale potential, cashed up treasury. So I invite people to take a look at our website, greatpacificgoldcorp.com, and we're here to answer any questions. It's going to be a very catalyst rich and newsy several weeks ahead.
Brilliant. Well, I hope to catch up with you soon, hopefully with more high grade gold, copper, whatever else you can find there. Thank you very much, Bryan.
Thank you.